Chicago, welcome into the Chicago Sports Podcast presented by Goose Island. Goose Island is the official beer of CHGO, and you can find one of their Chicago locations at gooseisland.com/locations. What's up, everyone? Kevin Kaduk, head of content at CHGO. To my left is Kacy Standohar. Behind that board is Lawrence Benedetto. Hi. And making his triumphant return is Luke Stuckmeyer.
Oh,
he's back, and he's a dad again, and he is back, and we're happy to have you.
I'm rested.
I am rested.
Yeah, sure you are. Yeah.
I'm caffeinated. Same difference.
It is Thursday, August 10th?
I have no idea.
10th, is that right?
Yeah, I don't.
August 10th already?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you're looking for the CHGO Bears
Summer
podcast, which is actually going on at the same time right now in this studio, it's over there. Please don't leave the air. We're going to talk a little bit Bears. I know it's confusing, but
but the graphics are clearly different. People, the title is different. The description is different. Mm-hmm. Please do a little bit, just a smidge of your own brain power. Use a little bit of it. Thank you.
And while I may sound like Carm, some of my takes are like Carm, he's clearly better looking. So stick with us.
Speaking of which, Bear Down Omaha gave them $2 to say, y'all got to hire Herb Howard. Say hi to Carm for me. Maybe that is
I don't disagree. Herb Howard, man, he's a hard man to pin down. He's kind of like a polygamist? He's a media polygamist.
What?
Oh.
Media polygamist. Okay. He's in here at CHGO. Next thing I know, he's at NBC Sports Chicago. Then he's on this pod. He's on that pod, which is fine. He's a man about town. I don't think you can pin down Herb Howard is what I'm saying.
Well, Carm goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Carm's a dabbler.
He's definitely a dabbler. A little too much for my liking, honestly.
Yeah. Rachel says, Kacy with the drip. Look at that hat.
Thanks, Rach. Miss you, girl.
She was out at
Bucket Gang.
She was out at Hallis Hall today with the Bucket Gang. I took that. I sent it to our merch manager, Eric Weedham. He's not our merch manager. He's our merch guru.
We definitely need a.
And I said next
week
we need, or next summer we need a CHGO bucket hat.
Oh, yeah.
They were great.
Like
it's a great training camp look. This is a golf bucket hat, but I wore it for football. And this was my first experience at Bears practice, at Bears training camp.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You had a good time?
I'm all in now.
All right. We're going to be talking a lot about the Bears on this show. We're going to talk a little bit about the Cubs. We're going to talk about surprise Chicago stars from over the years. So it's going to be a good show. Glad to have Luke back. Welcome back, Luke.
Thank you.
We're coming at you a little later because we had a all-city, all CHGO meeting. We are plotting world domination. Be aware. Be on the lookout for that.
Yes. Good stuff.
All the details we can give you at this time. All right, the CHGO Kickoff Classic is at Cog Hill, Friday, August 25th, 9 a.m. Your entry fees get you 18 holes with a cart, an exclusive CHGO X Pins and Aces gift for all players. There's whole contests, giveaways, and prizes, lunch, drinks, and ceremony after the round. There are not a lot of tickets left for this. That is not smoke. I'm not blowing smoke up. There's a couple foursomes left, couple twosomes, couple singles. If you are thinking about coming out and playing golf with us, you need to buy this now. That's all I'll say. More than a few tickets for the Cubs takeover, so jump on that. But you want to lock that in because that's next Wednesday.
That's
going to be out at Wrigley Field. I'll be there.
Time right there.
Rachel,
you're going to be there?
I want Rachel to come back from London and come to our takeover.
Quick little hop, skip, and a jump over the pond.
Is that the same Rachel?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Rachel.
I thought she was like a Cubs Rachel.
Oh, maybe that isn't her.
Did she change her name?
That's Cubs.
It looks like Cubs Rachel.
London Rachel.
It's just different from her Twitter name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize this, but this could be Marcus Stroman's first game back.
Okay.
The Cubs Sox take over on the 16th, and vibes will be at an all-time high.
All-time high.
We're going to do a pregame meetup at Almost Home.
Yes.
bar.
Right by
down
Obvious
Park.
Shirts.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot
by
of
Wrigley.
fun. There'll be a drink involved with that. You get a free T-shirt. It's like $85 to get in without the Die Hard discount. You can't go to a third-party app and get in for that price. So if you want to go watch a Cubs Sox game next Wednesday night with some cool people, that is your place. Looking forward to it.
Why would you not? Like, I feel like we had a great turnout at the White Sox one. Why would you not want to come to the North Side one? Because the Cubs are just playing. So, I mean, yesterday they lost, yes, because Mike Tauchman wasn't in the lineup, and we got to make some changes. But honestly, Cubs have been so fun.
It's become a fun team.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've gone from table vomit to, whoa, hey, this is a fun team.
Yeah,
what are the
whoa.
Cubs doing? Who is that guy? Like, all of a sudden you have the random, like, partial fans that are like, and I understand why, like people that jumped off the bandwagon for a while that are like,
Right.
hey, the Cubs are fun. How about last night's game?
I mean, people say
They're
in
fun.
Chicago, you want to see, they say all you want to see is players play hard. I don't think that's true.
No, it's
People
not.
want to see wins.
Yeah.
But this Cubs team does have players that also play hard.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun to watch. They're trending up. Sox aren't trending on a high trend line, but they're playing a little bit better baseball. I mean, they don't have a lot to play for, but they could spoil the Cubs comeback bid here in 2 nights. So it's going to be a spirited outing.
found a way to steal the headlines recently. That's for sure.
Not in a good way, but
Oh.
yeah.
No, I mean, I think the Cubs Sox takeover, crosstown takeover, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a blast. First of all, because even if the Sox aren't having a good season and the Cubs are fighting for a playoff spot, it's still the love-hate of the other side of town that goes on. And so Sox fans are still going to want to go. And Cubs fans are going to want to rub it in because for the first time in a long time, they can say, hey, clearly we are the better team. Yeah. Finally, we are back to being the better team. So
I'm looking forward to it.
time.
I'm going to go to the takeover Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. Thursday night, I get to ship my kids off to school for another year.
Oh, wow.
Huge week.
Man.
Huge week.
Takeover and the send-off.
Are they excited to go to school?
They are. They're school
so
kids.
cute.
Yeah.
I like when they come to visit.
Oh my
They got
gosh,
their
the
teacher
best!
assignments.
It's the best to look in that office and see your daughter and not you. I'm sorry, I like seeing you. It's
See
just
her
so
in your
cute
seat. She's
watching
so
her. It's the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's less demanding, too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not you don't see them at home.
Mini head of content.
All right, that leads us into this week's Taking Care of Business award winner, powered by ComEd, and we are giving it to Luke's guy, Cody's guy, Obvious Shirts guy, whoever's guy, Chicago's guy, Palatine's guy,
Arlington
Mike
Heights
Tauchman.
and Palatine.
He is having a moment right now. Mike Tauchman, right now, through 66 games with the Chicago Cubs, has 2.2 WAR. He has 5.3 WAR for his entire career, which is 323 games. He's just having a great season, being the spark plug for the club, and spark plug, whatever.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Keyed that win against the Mets the other night. Basically helped them avoid a sweep, which
Exactly.
would have been very, very bad. For the season, he is hitting 284, 379, 442 with 7 homers and 41 RBI. That's a 120 OPS plus. It's a fun story.
Cody coined the phrase, where were you for the summer of Mike Tauchman? And now we have the collab shirt with Obvious Shirts. Go to their website, go to the store, whatever you want. Check it out. 2 fun shirts. Yeah. I mean, imagine being swept by the Mets if he doesn't come through.
Not great.
You think it doesn't feel good after losing 2 out of 3 and kind of losing the buzz from that great homestand where you beat the Reds and you beat the Braves. Imagine getting swept by the lowly Mets. It's been the summer of the Palatine Pounder. The pride of Fremd High School now makes his residence in the great village of Arlington Heights, Illinois, future home of the Bears still, I believe, where all greatness begins. And he's been spectacular. And I know we're going to talk more about him in the third segment, but Tauchman has been one of the great stories in Chicago sports this season. Period. He just has, because you expected nothing.
Right.
There were no expectations.
People love him wherever he's gone. People loved him in Colorado. People loved him with the Yankees. He's never been able to put together an all-star career.
You just never expected. You never expected to be selling T-shirts with the guy's name on it.
Yeah. That's why it's
absolutely not.
cool. It's exciting.
He's
to see other guys come up that you didn't expect and perform and just be a part of this Cubs team and make a difference has been really cool.
You could argue he saved the Cubs season when
could.
Bellinger went down. Because when Bellinger went down, it tanked, but it didn't tank as bad as it could have because he was in center and playing out of his mind.
Yeah. So shout out to Mike Tauchman, this week's Taking Care of Business Award winner, powered by ComEd. And again, like Luke said, we'll be talking a little bit more about surprise seasons from non-all-star players in Chicago sports history a little bit later. But first, our lead topic, we're going to get into Justin Fields because we are talking about Justin Fields. I actually did a joke tweet today. Q ratings in Chicago by athlete. Number 1 is Justin Fields. Number 2 is Connor Bedard. Number 3 is Mike Tauchman. So we're going to talk about 2 of these, right? You know, Connor Bedard will probably be another show. But Justin Fields, Danny Parkins from 670 The Score had a viral tweet. I think it was yesterday. It was a segment from his show where he was saying, look, it is time to stop messing around. You have to declare yourself in or out on Justin Fields. And his basic thing was saying, look, we have the information that we need from Justin Fields. This is what he is. You have to be in or out. And I have to say that I agree with him because, look, it's been a long offseason. We've sat here for 9 months. 9 months ago, Kacy, we were sitting here watching Braggs hump the Chicago Bear after they got the number 1 pick. That was a long time ago.
God, forgot about that.
Censorship.
Why did you make me remember that?
But the thing that, like, and so those first 2 months was everyone was kind of talking about, okay, well, should the Bears trade Justin Fields? And that was a national thing that happened, but it was a topic that got brought up. I thought it was, we talked about it on this show, thought it was nonsense. But then it kind of morphed into this, okay, this is another season. This is a season where we have to figure out if Justin Fields is the guy. And to me, I just remember sitting here last year at this time and saying, okay, the 2022 season is about learning if Justin Fields is the guy. Mm-hmm. And I thought that he had proved that he was the guy last year because he went out and had an unbelievable season with his legs. They put points on the board. They lost a lot of games that were not Justin Fields' fault. I mean, they're putting up more than 30 points. What was it, 3 or 4 straight weeks? Something we had never seen before. He had the passing wasn't there. But he actually showed that he was a guy that we have never seen before, that had a lot of potential, that had all the leadership qualities. And then he goes and has one bad game in Detroit, and then it's well, wait, in 2023, we really got to make sure. I don't agree.
He already is. He already is. We saw it last year. We just needed pieces to back him up. We needed support. And we already made that call. So for people to be backtracking, it seems silly to me.
See, now I'm on the other side of this. I'm not saying he's not. I just don't understand. I take that back. I understand why Danny is saying what he's saying because it's part of what we do. We spark conversation and we look for conversation and feedback from fans, and it's all of that. I watched his clip. I don't know how you can say you saw everything you need to see for the guy to be the future. Here's why I said, and I know what he made the points. He said, well, you can say they had a horrible passing game. We know they had a bad offensive line. We know they had no wide receivers.
Yeah.
But we don't know what he's going to do with good ones. We still don't know that he can read the progressions and make the throws.
We don't.
We don't. We know he's a great scrambler and runner. We know there's no question about that. The Bears have never had anybody quarterback that can run like Justin Fields can. Mm-hmm. But you don't draft a guy just because he can run well. You want him to also be able to mix in throws. I don't think he has to be a great passing quarterback, but if you truly believe it's a yes or a no right now, and I don't believe you should have to make that decision personally because what has changed between the end of last season and now? They got a couple upgrades on the offensive line, we think. We think they've improved the receivers. We sure hope. We haven't even seen a preseason game yet. What are we judging it on? What Kacy saw practice today?
Let me put it this way.
We saw him miss a planned practice throw?
If I told you right now you have to sign up for Justin Fields for the next 5 years.
Would you?
Would you sign on the dotted line?
I would, because who else?
Well, that's the answer, but they
that's
have
not the question.
That's the exact right answer from Kacy.
It is, but it's not what he's saying.
Who
Are
else?
you in on Fields or you're out on Fields? That's the question. And I'm in on him, but it doesn't mean I'm in on him being the future. Here's why I know I can't answer that. Because I just talked about it with Cody as we were going to get lunch. I said, here's the worst case scenario. Knock on wood. I don't want this to happen. I don't even want to put it out in the atmosphere.
Say it. You're saying it.
What if there's some sort of injury in like week 3 this season?
But
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's say there's an injury, and it's not like, oh, he's never going to play again. There's an injury, and you don't see anything. What do you do? What are you going to do with the 2 first-round draft picks? You going to roll it back and give Fields the big deal? Do you have enough information to make that move? I'm guessing they probably would roll the dice and say yes. But what if it was an injury that was worse than that, and you're not sure how his body's going to come back the next year, especially because he's a running quarterback at the moment? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, currently, they have the best setup they've had in a long time at quarterback. They have a guy that we believe in. Most of us think he's the guy, but I'm not at 100%. And if he's not,
so you're on the outside.
You have 2 first-round picks. No, I'm sorry, Danny. I'm in the middle. I haven't seen. I want to see. I want to see 6 games this year. Give me 6 games.
6 more.
But I feel like even after that, you're going to be like, I don't know.
I don't think so, because if you start to watch the other stuff within the game, is he going through the progressions? Is he throwing receivers open instead of receivers waiting for the ball to come? Is he hitting the occasional deep ball that they're giving him? All of those things. If you start to see those early on, and if you start, preseason's one thing, but if you see him in the preseason and then you see him in the first couple games, boom, I'm in. Then I don't worry about it. But, and this has nothing to do with Adam Hogue saying he had a bad practice today. Well, a lot of people say he's had a bad practice. Everybody has a bad practice.
Hogue? It's not always Hogue.
I'm not. I'm saying, like, to me, that stuff's not a big deal. But if you go through the first 3 games, what if he's outplayed by Jordan Love in the first game? You're like, well, he threw 3 picks, and the progressions were slow, and he got sacked 3 times that weren't the offensive line's fault. He does hold on to the ball too long. Why? Because probably he didn't have the wide receivers. But I'm just saying, there are things we still want to see from Justin Fields. He could I want him to take a leap from, I think he's my guy. I'm way more confident that he's my guy than I ever was in Trubisky.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, what the hell were they thinking?
Why did you say when I said who else, Law? Why did you say that's not the question? Because it's like, what else can you do?
Well, you can draft a quarterback next year.
You could draft another quarterback, or
Well, it's a different story if Caleb Williams goes out and has an unbelievable season for USC, and the Bears somehow get the first pick again.
The Big
completely
Ten's
different story,
USC.
But you're not even worried about that if Fields is great.
You're down the path, and you have a guy with tools. So I don't see how he'd have to play really, really, really poorly in 2023.
He's averaging like 176 passing yards a game. Like, I know they're terrible, but, like, come on. It's 2023. What are we talking about? You got to average like 250.
So you're out.
I'm not out.
Let me ask you this.
It's not always about passing yards. To me, it's not about that.
It's about
it has to
moving
be
the football.
Some of it has to eventually be about that because it's a passing league.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love the running quarterback, but I don't want my quarterback to just be a running quarterback.
No.
Yeah. Not in this league.
Kacy, is he jersey worthy?
Yeah.
Right? Is he?
Yes.
Is he worth buying a jersey now?
No, you know why? Because the number 1 is a terrible. The Bears font is awful.
Are you weird. Kacy now? Is that your name?
I'm just saying. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I answered too. I feel bad.
I do think yes, and
Absolutely.
I think we've already seen that. I mean, his jersey.
I would say that right now that is the ultimate barometer is if you're in or out on Justin Fields is if you are willing to buy his jersey.
He's still exciting to watch.
This coming from a guy who has a Mitch Trubisky jersey.
Who does? Oh, you do?
What's wrong with
that guy?
It's a Chase Claypool jersey now.
Sure.
Oh, that's right.
He scratched it off.
Duct taped it. Genius.
I mean, listen, guys. All I can say is I watched that documentary, that Untold Johnny Football documentary last night about Johnny Manziel.
I watched that last night too.
What did you think? Because he was so lucky and undisciplined, and I was comparing him in my head to Justin Fields, and I was like, Justin Fields would never do any of this stuff. He eats right. He doesn't party. He doesn't get out of his mind. He doesn't do things just to be like obnoxious. Like
I was embarrassed.
It's not, but like think about it. I was embarrassed for the city of Cleveland when they were like, yeah, Johnny Football. And we have we have a guy who like cares about doing things right.
That Johnny Manziel thing was infuriating.
Wild.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he's in it.
We could talk about it. Yeah.
Yes. I will say this. Kacy is 100% right that a lot of the things that Justin Fields has shown us do indicate, yes, he's absolutely the guy. Is he my guy this season? Yes, absolutely. He's the only guy I want to see playing quarterback for the Bears every single game, every single snap. There's no who's the backup, what's next, none of that. Like right now, he's the most exciting thing in Chicago sports, period. It's not even close. So it is Fields this year. I'm just saying I can't say that he's the guy 6 years from now because I don't know what's going to happen this season. And I like Danny's question. It sparks conversation like this one, but in reality, in the real world where I live in the gray, usually not in the black and white, I'm in that gray and I still want to see many things in the first half of this season. At the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's not a 6-game referendum. It's not a year referendum. I feel like we're in this process with Justin Fields where he has earned and shown enough to where we're in that 5-year window, right? Mitch Trubisky only got 4 years, right? But to me, it's like, okay, Justin Fields, again, barring an absolute disaster of a season, he's got 2023, he's got 2024, he's got 2025. It's how the NFL works. Like, Patrick Mahomes is a complete outlier where you just pop right out and you're going to conference championship after conference championship.
Who am I thinking of? The quarterback, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. I remember talking to Philly fans and they were like, "Oh, he is the man. We got our guy. He is the man." Let me tell you, a lot can change in one season.
See the picture of him that came out this week?
So he's no longer the man, and they're on to the new man. So for me to say 6 years from now, Justin Fields is going to be the man on my team, I can't do it yet. Yeah. I won't do it yet. That doesn't mean I'm not putting 100% of my cheering fandom into everything Justin Fields does this year. But if he can't hit more, and if he can't hit the open wide receivers, if he can't make the progressions, if he can't get rid of the ball faster, and it's not the offensive line's fault, or it's not that's to me the biggest reason for the confusion is that the Bears didn't give him some of those guys last year. They gave him Claypool halfway through. Like, Claypool wasn't the answer to finding out the answer to that question. So now they have a real, legit number one wide receiver. They invested in the offense. Good. All things I want to see. Both things still need to get better next year. I would hope, in a perfect scenario for me, next year they have 2 first-round picks. Justin Fields is great, and somehow they can get Harrison.
Yes.
They can get Harrison to add to the receiving mix, and they can get a guy that can rush the passer.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Let's get to a couple of comments quickly. If Hendrick says, if you're talking about value, then you have to be out. Think about what you can get in return for JF1. Poles drafts Williams. He can get him on a 6-year deal versus having to pay JF1 in 2 to 3 years. Brewhaw7 says JF1 equals QB1 right now and for the next 6 to 8 years. Bear down.
Disco ball.
I like Charlie's comment.
What does Charlie say?
Charlie said he had a JV offense last year and they were scoring 30-plus points for 2 months straight. And they were in like 8 one-score games. Sorry. There's no way all those L's turn into W's, but there's no shot they all remain L's.
I agree.
That's progress.
Oh, I mean, we all think they're going to be, we all assume they're going to be better.
I mean, obviously the defense effed him over last year. They traded away the best players, and that was the plan. But, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm with Luke. You got to be a little gray.
Shout out to my guy, Rob, who says he stopped in here while the other one was on our ad break.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Oh, thanks, Rob.
The
I mean, what in Bears history makes you think you've absolutely seen enough at quarterback that there's no way this guy could not be great this year? I'm hoping so. I think, like, I see the greatness. I hope everybody's wrong. I'll be honest with you. I got a fantasy draft coming up. I plan on taking Fields. That's how much I want him to be good.
So if there's like a line.
But I'm saying all those
and
things.
Danny Parkins and Kevin and all these guys are on this side. And where are you on this line? Are you standing in between it?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to
Luke
tell
is a
you, Danny
JF1
Parkins. Sorry,
polygamist.
I'm not a
You have to
red
pick a
light,
side.
green light. I'm yellow light right now.
Yeah, man.
I'm cautious Chicago Bears football fan because I've seen a lot of garbage at quarterback. And I don't think Justin Fields would ever be going back to the garbage side, but he might not be. We don't know 100% that he's 6 years from now the savior some people think he is. I hope he is.
Yeah. Charlie has a nice thing to say here. He says, I'm nowhere near out, but I can't fully be in because he really hasn't had a legitimate shot to show who he actually is.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yes, we need more than 6 games to figure this out.
Looking forward to Saturday at noon. The Tennessee Titans are in town. Make sure you're following CHGO Bears for all that stuff. I'm sure you already are.
Stay healthy. That's the most important
Please.
thing.
I'm telling you, the worst case scenario is what I was talking about, where you don't get to find out the answer.
I hate that I even brought mute that. All right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
God.
Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. It's a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. It is a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. They offer easy online ordering and in-store pickup. They also have a great transparent loyalty program named Sunnyside Rewards. It is the area's favorite dispensary from city to suburbs, Wrigleyville to River North, Champaign to South Beloit. Probably doing some pretty good business with Bruce Springsteen in town, I would guess.
Bruce.
So if you're going to the Bruce show like I am on Friday night.
That's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
It's very exciting.
Flex.
Make sure you stop by Sunnyside right there in Wrigleyville. Check out Sunnyside's House of Brands. They offer Mindy's, which is the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles created by James Beard award-winning chef Mindy Siegel and Cresco Labs. There's also Good News brand, which offers gummies, rechargeable vape pens, and carts, perfect for great moments with the crew. I've got a guy coming in from Atlanta, a guy coming in from Wisconsin. It's going to be
excellent.
Do I know these two? Did they go to a My Morning Jacket show with you?
Jay, he came in from Atlanta for My Morning Jacket. He's back for this one.
Giddy up, Jay.
Anyway, through August, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer, not stackable with other promotions. But that's not only for new customers. Anyone can use that code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer with code CHGO25 at checkout. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder.
So, guys, this is like the dog days of summer. We were talking about it at Bears Camp. Things are getting crazy busy, and you might be looking for that wholesome, convenient meal to support your sunny, active days that we have left in August and into September, too. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You're going to save time, you're going to eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals. I actually just got my box a couple of days ago, and I was so excited to open it and see like the different flavors, different kinds of meals. I had this delicious goat cheese pasta with green beans. It was so delicious. And I was in such a hurry that day because between like going to the sports convention and then training camp and running around with work and everything going on, it's so easy. You just literally pop these in the microwave and it's ready within 2 minutes. Now, you can also do it in the oven. That's also great. But a lot of the times, is that how you do it?
That's how I was doing it.
Yeah, it's probably better in the oven.
Yeah,
but
in the microwave. Yeah.
honestly, it was good enough for me. It was convenient. It was fast. I'm way too busy to kind of plan out those meals, but I want to still be eating dinner and eating well. With Factor, you skip the extra trip to the grocery store. You don't have to worry about the chopping, the prepping, the cleaning up. You still get the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals, again, ready in 2 minutes. All you have to do is heat and enjoy. Then you get back outside to soak up the warm weather, enjoy a game, enjoy a Bruce Springsteen concert, wherever you're headed. They also have calorie-conscious options this summer. They have delicious dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals. There's like vegan, chef special, all different kinds of things with around or less than 550 calories per serving. And they have the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving, which is great for guys. I mean, it's the regular meal's enough for me, but I feel like for a grown man, you might
It's
eat a little
honestly
more
enough
food.
for me.
Really?
Yeah, I've had them. I mean, they're
And he's training for a marathon, if
That's
you haven't
right.
heard.
He's got to
Yes.
feed the burning engine.
So this August, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. You choose your meals, enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door. Again, ready in just 2 minutes, no prep. Head to factormeals.com/CHGO50 and use code CHGO50 to get 50% off. Again, that's code CHGO50 at factormeals.com/CHGO50. You can use a lot of different codes. There's CHGO Bears 50, Cubs 50, whatever you want. Get your Factor
Don't
meals
help the Bears, guys. They're
today.
being really loud out there.
Use our code.
Yeah. Also, the smoothies are delicious.
Are they?
Yeah.
I haven't tried that yet, but I have really enjoyed the
Did you get 'em
dinners.
in your box?
I did. I got
Yeah,
one.
good.
I'm gonna
I had
try
the
some of these.
tropical one this morning. It was delicious. The mango one was good.
I mean, usually when you eat some of these like meal kits, it's like they're so packed and that you feel terrible after eating them. Like these are
felt
actually
great.
like the right portion, and
Yeah.
you don't. And I'm not just saying that. 'Cause
I got to check it out. I haven't checked it out yet.
I'm
I
like
need
paying
to.
for it by myself now. I mean, like we got the free box. I'm like,
Oh,
all
you're
right, I'm
like you're
signing up.
invested. You're into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
missed the free box, so I need to get in on it because,
You're a
newborn
busy
in the
dad.
house. Like,
Yeah, you don't have time.
that fast meal, healthy meal is hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little over under. Going to do some over under here, but let's go track back to this Johnny Manziel doc. Did you watch it, Luke?
No, I haven't seen it. I mean, I know
you see
about
it?
Johnny
No,
Manziel.
yeah.
of course.
So I would definitely recommend it. It's only like an hour and 12
football.
minutes, so it's a pretty easy thing.
I don't know if I would recommend it.
Well, these Netflix docs, they aren't quite the level of 30 for 30 or HBO docs.
I like the Untold.
I mean, there was a
brand.
lot. Yeah, but there was a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, this guy still seems like a pretty lost dude.
He just opened a bar next to Texas A&M.
He did?
Well, I
Yeah, I
feel
believe
bad.
so. I believe he just opened like the Johnny football bar in College Station.
He was.
doesn't get it.
Seems like he was a
Believe it.
guy who never wanted to be a pro, and had like a lightning in a bottle college career, and just didn't want to commit and dedicate the time. He literally says in the documentary, "I watched zero film, zero tape,
Crazy.
zero."
The weird thing to me, though,
Perfect.
and I haven't seen it brought up in any criticisms of, they touch on, he says, I was diagnosed with bipolar, which is a huge freaking deal and
Yeah.
a big ingredient to the story. And it didn't seem like a big deal to the filmmakers. I don't know if it's a big deal necessarily to his parents or
He
Johnny
literally
Manziel.
said, "I wanted to spend all of my money and then kill myself."
Yeah.
In the documentary,
So it
so
was
it's like
just,
clearly he has he needs.
Got
it
issues.
was clear
No.
that he was depressed. I mean, he was
Yes.
talking, he was in Cleveland, like,
Yes, that itself,
sitting
in
there.
itself is a depressing place to be.
right. So they actually just
In the
showed
winter,
like,
yes.
like him like staring out the window at
Yeah.
the Cleveland skyline. I mean, it was crazy. He was obviously very gifted and talented, but he the other thing is just how meteoric his rise was. I mean, the one thing I kind of forgot was, and that August he was arrested for a fake ID. He was going around with a fake ID and getting into places because nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
Within 6 months, he's beating Alabama and winning the Heisman Trophy, and
See, for
people
me, I
are-
feel like that wasn't talent. That's luck. I don't feel like, I think you have to have more dedication and passion and drive to be truly talented. And he didn't possess any of that. And I think the
Yeah.
bipolar thing is very serious, and I'm taking that seriously, and I feel for him in that way. But I also feel bad because I feel like he wasn't raised well. I feel like his dad did not raise him to be the man he should be.
Interesting.
And he literally says in the documentary, the coaches are supposed to do that. They're supposed to be the guys who make
yeah, I
it.
did.
And I was
That
like, wait,
that
what?
part was
You know?
interesting. I thought the same thing.
And then he had kind of like a crooked agent. His agent was like willing to do crazy things, like fake emergency to the hospital in order to get him out of taking
They
a
also-
drug test at
they
the
ma-
combine.
Because he wants the money. The agent wants the money.
Well, how different is the story though if NIL is in place? Because a part of this was him going around and making $40,000 for signing all these autographs, and the NCAA catches him, and this whole big thing. But the one thing that I liked was the whole story was, I come from this rich oil family, because everyone's like, how are you driving? And the media just bought the story. Oh yeah, he comes from oil money. That's why he's driving around all these crazy stuff and going around on a private plane. And I don't think his family is hurting for money, but it wasn't oil money.
It was.
Aggies, whoop.
It's a very interesting documentary. It was. I don't know. I was embarrassed for the city of Cleveland because the city of Cleveland is very much like, oh, sexual assault, come play for us. Oh, you hit a woman in an elevator, come play for us. You want to be a disruptive quarterback with an ego that disrupts the whole franchise. Come on.
When you're searching and you're hungry for a quarterback, you do dumb things, right?
Yes, you
I
do.
guess. Anyway.
Yes, you do.
All right, let's get back to a little JF1 talk. Over under. Based on what you've seen, we'll start off with Kacy. Since you're the only one in this place that's been out to Tallis Hall.
I guess so.
Justin Fields, 3,000. I'm not going to put the bar at 4,000, which is where he put it. 3,000 passing yards. He had 2,242 in 2022.
I'm going to be optimistic since I'm in on him. I'm going to say over.
Luke.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely over. The only reason he wouldn't be over is the injury thing, and you can't make wagers based on that.
Stop saying that.
I know.
Well, I mean, it's a realistic factor when you're talking about 3,000. I don't think seems difficult for him to get over. When he had 2,200 last year, and he was throwing to Steven, our producer, he was throwing to Lawrence, and he was throwing to me, and Ryan Herrera was blocking for him, and it was, I mean. Seriously, we could have put together a group of guys that might have been just as successful for him. So 3,000, 4,000. When he said 4,000, that kind of made me raise an eyebrow. Nobody's ever done that in Bears history, obviously. 3,000, I think he can do, especially in this league.
I'm going over too. I think he has way too many weapons. That DJ Moore connection has been the talk of camp. Hopefully, Chase Claypool is not. He doesn't get the injury bug. Obviously, he was out, yesterday and today. So you never know what's going to happen there. But I think with Cole Kmet being such a reliable option and some of the other things, 3,000 should be easy.
Darnell Mooney.
All right, Justin Fields over under 1,000 rushing yards.
Under.
What did he have last year?
What did he have? 1,200?
11? I don't know. He was second ever all time, but he shouldn't be running that much.
I say it's still going to be over because that's what he does best.
But it shouldn't be.
I agree with Kacy. I still think it'll be over.
I think so, too. I think it's over.
That, like you said, that's what...
He's going to have to.
You don't necessarily want it to be his first instinct. You still would like him to throw, but, that's part of what makes him great. I don't want him to stop running completely. I just want him to be able to hit open receivers when they're open. And that will... Once he starts, if he starts hitting receivers, if Moore starts having a connection, if he starts marching them down the field with the pass more, there's only going to be more opportunity to run.
1,000 divided by 17 is 58.8. So
yes, over. Over for both. Right. See, I'm in.
Justin Fields, 0.5 passing touchdowns on Saturday against Tennessee.
All right, so we're thinking maybe one series? If they put a number on it?
Do they score on the first
drive?
Yes, because Luke Getsy loves the first drive. He can plan that shit out.
I will go under for the storyline, just because people will panic.
I think you have to.
One series and they didn't score and they were 4 and out. They didn't even get a
I think you have to go under
downs.
Because not only is there a decent chance that they don't score at all, but there's also a good chance that he runs the ball in.
I'm saying over.
Excellent point.
I'm with you, Law.
Absolutely going
Luke
under.
Getsy.
Yeah. It's going to be DJ Moore. Let's do it.
All right. Chicago Cubs. The line is 0.5 NL Central Division crowns in 2023. Kacy said no to this last week.
I did?
Yeah. You said they were going to win the wild card somehow, which...
Well, last week I did.
Yeah.
2.5 games out there, right there in the wild card. I will say, about a week ago, I said I still don't know if they're a playoff team, and then the Mets series happened, which kind of reinforces that for me. But I just don't think those other two teams are very good. The big question with the Cubs is, will Stroman come back and pitch like he did earlier in the season or like he did last month? If he comes back and pitches closer to the guy that was the best pitcher or one of the better pitchers in baseball, I'm going over. So I guess I'll take over. I believe that he's going to come back from the hip injury, maybe starting at the takeover for CHGO on Wednesday against the White Sox, and let's go.
I'm going over. I predicted division crown last week.
I guess I got to keep what I said last week.
That's fine.
take over.
I just
that
don't.
shirt too.
I just have a hard time believing 2 NL Central teams are gonna get in on that wild card.
I'm not. I agree with you actually.
Okay.
I agree with you, but I think they can do it. It's 100%. I think everything is riding on Stroman's hip. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, the offense has definitely picked up. I was shocked to see them win 2 or 3 against the real team, the Atlanta Braves, last weekend. The Reds have fallen back to earth.
Yep, they have flaws. Brewers have flaws.
Brewers definitely flawed.
You got
Cubs
called
have
out by
flaws.
the Duke for doubting the
I know.
Cubs.
I know that hurts me very much so because I love the Duke, and he did call me out like 4 days later.
Tony James says the engagement farming with the headline is pathetic.
What does that even mean?
You know what, Tony? Rewind.
We talked about Fields.
30
and
minutes
then
we
we're
talked
in
about Justin
the whole
Fields.
time. Like
You're
stop.
pathetic, Tony.
You're
No,
late, Tony.
I think he's saying that like we're asking a takey question in the headline
That's
just to get
the
people
point.
to watch.
We're responding to
Tony?
one. I even said that. Of course we are. Like that's what Danny Parkins did. That makes him a good radio host. He sparked interesting conversation. We're just following it up.
Here's the thing, Tony. You're watching, aren't you? So
You're in,
Welcome.
Tony.
We farmed his
Welcome.
engagement.
yes.
Oh, Tony's the one thumbs down we got.
Thank you for engaging.
Tony.
Chicago White Sox, 100 losses. They are 47-69. Not nice. They have 46 games to go. So will they go better than 15-31 the rest of the way?
Better than 15-31. Well, that's not saying much, so I will say yes.
I say no.
So you're saying under?
Yeah.
I think under.
It's
Really?
They won't get to 100 losses. Think they're going to lose 31
Yes.
out of their last
They're a
46?
garbage team. What a
They
clown
just took
show.
2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
Whoa, great. The Yankees are actually terrible.
Still the Yankees.
I'd like to see the Cubs run up a 20 spot on him one of those games.
Yeah.
Tauchman hit about 3 home runs.
They could always pop up, though. I mean, they could go and, I don't know.
They could go into that. We have
guess.
nothing. We have
like-
nothing to play for. So like, oh
The
yeah, we're
pitching
fine.
staff at this point, like, ugh.
Yeah, it is ugly.
What'd you make of the whole Tim Anderson? I will say,
I tweeted something out and I got some blowback from a couple of Sox fans that are out there, and I was not trying to be negative. When I watched the fight live, I was watching the game, I saw the fight live, and all I tweeted out was, it might be time for Tim Anderson to just call it a season, walk away, and reset for next year. That's not... I'm not saying he's a bad player or ever going to... he could be a great player again next year. I just think he's got clearly got a lot going on in his head, in his life, from everything he's said, everything he's tweeted, everything he's shown us, everything former teammates have said, everything that's been reported. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on for Tim Anderson this year. And we preach mental health in this country a lot of times, saying this is the most important thing we've got to fix in this country is mental health. I don't disagree. Okay, so go to the guy, if you're in charge of the White Sox, if you're Rick Hahn, and say, here, we know we paid you to play a full season. We know you probably want to play a full season. But is it possible that the best thing for you is to go home, get stuff settled down, refocus, and we come back hard in spring training? We're not holding it against you. We want you to get everything right.
Yeah.
We want you to be right next year. And we think taking a little time off early might allow you to do this. Playing these last 2 months of garbage games that mean nothing with teammates in a locker potentially away from everybody else, what good is that doing us right now? It's not doing us any good. We're not sending you away, but the best thing might be for you to just reset. Not necessarily just because he got into a fist fight and he got knocked down and was wobbled by it. I'm just saying it's just another example of this season couldn't have gone worse for him.
yeah.
So why
It's
not
been
just step
unbelievable.
away and reset?
That's a great point. I didn't think about it from that angle. I will say probably the best point that's ever been made on the Chicago Sports Podcast. You were saying this last offseason that the White Sox should trade Tim Anderson because of what teams were paying shortstops,
Yeah.
with the haul they would have been able to get. And man, that was maybe you should take Rick Hahn's job. Luke.
Well,
I don't know.
Someone needs to.
Some Sox fans would like me to. I would say that obviously I believed it when I said it, but I said it right after the season. They had the meltdown of all meltdowns. The season, they were supposed to be in the hard window of championship baseball, and it was like, listen, they need to make a bold move. Bringing this team back and not bringing back La Russa is not a bold move. That's the obvious move. The next one is trading someone you think is good to get back great, and trading him when he's high. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean trading Eloy, who can't stay healthy. That wouldn't have been bold either. Bold would have been trading Cease or Anderson or somebody. Everybody in this fan base would have been like, what are you doing? That's when you know you've made a bold move, when half the fan base is furious. And they absolutely should have done it the moment the Giants were spurned by Carlos Correa.
What happens
Or
when
the
what happens when
was spurned by the Giants.
half of the fan base was furious when they hired Tony La Russa? Was that a bold move?
It was a bad bold
Wait, it was
move.
only half?
It was a really bad.
I will say there was a decent amount of, because I was writing Midway Minute at the time and I was kind of slamming that move. I got a decent amount of emails being like, you don't know, Tony La Russa, this could be a really good move. It's from old time folks. It wasn't necessarily the Twitter set, but
Or people living
it was actually Jerry Reinsdorf saying it.
2020.
Jerry Reinsdorf burner accounts.
Now's not the time to trade Tim Anderson. Now the stock's low. The time
Right.
was last season
You
when
missed it.
he was coming off a okay season. The power was still there, and people thought, wow, we could have our shortstop, and the Giants would have given you a boatload for him. Yeah. Oh, well.
All right. We are so excited to partner with our friends at Circle K. Check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, and snack selection and premium gas. Look out for a freebie and giveaways down the road. Circle K has the best road trip snacks, which I am sure the CHGO Bears team is going to load up on as they head to Indianapolis next weekend.
I
Lawrence
asked
included.
these idiots if anyone wanted to carpool and just got a bunch of blank stares. I don't want to have to. Do we need to drive? Is it swingers? We don't need to drive 5 cars to Indianapolis.
Do they know what gas costs these days?
Not at Circle K, my friend. It's
No, they
really
don't.
cheap.
Stop at Circle
Shout
K.
out to Circle K.
All right. Thanks to Circle K for sponsoring CHGO. Visit the nearest Circle K to pick up all your favorite finds. Also, buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful.
No, let me tell you about that. I know there have been a lot of people freaking out. Well, first, the Taylor Swift tickets was one thing.
Yeah.
And
Still freaking out about them.
people are still freaking out about
freaking
that.
out about it.
Still on
People
the wait
freaking
list.
out about how to go see Springsteen at Wrigley Field. Tough ticket. You know, you're going to run into this for Bears tickets all season long. Wait till these Cubs playoff tickets start to roll around, folks.
It's true.
Hey, now.
Or just tickets in September as they're fighting to make the team. Wrigley Field's going to make the playoffs. They're going to be tough to get. So here's what I do. It shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you're about to have. You can just go to the website, flash through. One thing I love about Game Time is you can go on there and look at exactly what the view is from the seat you are purchasing. So you don't have to worry about going to Wrigley Field and being behind a beam.
If you use other apps, you do.
Other apps you do. Game Time you don't. They show you the photo. This is where you're going to sit. There's an image of it. They have the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all kinds of things to get you ready to get the best tickets around. So buy your tickets in a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're set, and they send them right to your phone so you don't have to dig through your email. Snag those tickets without the stress and Game Time. Terms apply, of course. Create an account. Redeem with the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So one way to do it, and I know it's successful, is you wait until a couple hours before the game and you see those prices start to drop, and bingo, that's when you grab the tickets.
Or you wait for Game Time.
Or you wait for right at Game Time. Who needs to see the first pitch? It's a long night.
Not anymore, though. Not in baseball.
No, well, it's still, trust me, it's still long. We had a
It
2-hour
can be.
rain delay this week.
Rain delays.
2-hour rain delay.
What is it to get into Springsteen?
Well, looking here at the old Game Time app, the cheapest is upper reserved 404. That is 97 apiece. So, yeah, you can
Nice
see
to
from
see
there.
the boss. To see the boss, huh?
Yeah.
That's a good night out.
Yeah, what
I'll
else
be
is
in
going on?
section 324 if anyone wants to
He's
say
a great
hello.
show. I saw him years ago in Pittsburgh.
You're going to see him tonight?
Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, Springsteen fans are about as rabid as you can get, right? Like, you can't tell a Springsteen fan that Springsteen's not great.
No, you can't.
No,
Have you seen him
cannot.
live?
I have not.
He's excellent.
I know everybody
He's
If
says
you can get away tomorrow night.
everybody says he's an entertainer,
Yeah.
like a great entertainer, and I
Great
don't
show.
doubt that. I don't dislike his music. I just
You missed it. missed
no,
the-
I just have never been a guy collecting a ton of Bruce Springsteen songs, albums, CDs, any of that stuff. He's just never necessarily been my guy. I like some of his songs.
Yeah.
If somebody gave me a free ticket, I would go see him. But would I rather have seen Tom Petty's last concert at Wrigley Field? Yes,
Sure.
I would.
Someone in the comments, Robert, said, "Why would you nickname yourself the boss? Nobody likes their boss."
Is that true?
Ouch.
I like my boss.
Ouch. We love our boss.
We love our boss.
Hey, who was that fellow with the hat on the Game Time thing? You see that fellow with the hat?
The fellow with
Fellow
the
with
hat?
a game time hat.
Look at that guy right there. He looks like Bam Bam Bigelow with a
his
hat
Are you
on.
talking
Karen
the
Leon?
Karen Leone dude?
Who is he?
Down
I
at the
don't
bottom.
know.
Hold on. Let's go back.
Got
to
a
it.
beard and a hat.
Yeah. That is Karen Leone
I don't know who that
playing
is.
Allstate Arena.
Wow.
Really?
Must
Huh.
be big if he's playing Allstate.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know who else is coming to Wrigley. What other are there any concerts left at Wrigley this summer? After Springsteen? That's a good question. I don't know the answer
Not
to.
sure.
But who did I see is coming to the United Center that I was
Fish.
excited about this winter? I can't remember now. There's a musical act where I thought, yes, I might get in on that. Actually, it might have been comedy. Oh, you
Dave
know what ticket
Chappelle.
I'm interested in?
Chappelle's coming in. next
Chappelle's
summer.
coming. That's who it was. But the other guy I would like to see early November, and I'm going to be scouring Game Time for this. Nate Bargatze is going to be at Chicago
I
Theater,
love him.
like
He's playing
November.
like 8 shows or something.
Yeah,
I
he's got
saw him last year at
3-4
Chicago
days
Theater.
in a row, and so I know one of them is already sold out. They opened up another one. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Nate Bargatze November tickets. You know, could be the Cubs World Series, so I don't want to buy the ticket yet, but
I saw his tour last year at Chicago Theater, and it was excellent.
he's funny.
Also, Mike Birbiglia is one I highly recommend if you could see him live.
Well, you could buy the seats, and then if the Cubs are in the World Series, you could put it up for sale on Game Time.
I could, but I like to wait. I'm the guy that likes to wait to the last minute, buy the tickets as they start to drop. Boom.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like buying tickets like nine months in advance. It's like, what are we doing here?
Now it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder with kids because you got to factor in babysitters and stuff like that. But you can still wait.
All right, what else are we talking about today? Anything?
Favorite surprise athletes,
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
surprise seasons in the vein of Mike Tauchman.
Because of the summer of Mike Tauchman. I threw it out on Cubs, and we had a couple of good ones go around. I said Jake Fox back in the day was real hot for the Cubs. Like in 2009, he was hitting these home runs, and was like, where did they get this guy?
Yeah.
Beer league hitter. Brian LaHare was another one that was an all-star, came out of nowhere, right?
It's French for the hair.
Cody was big on the summer of Tony Campana stealing home, the inside the park home runs, all that type of stuff. So the Cubs have had some, and I was trying to think of other sports teams in Chicago. Where one season have you been like, that guy was pretty good for one season, and he wasn't expected to be anything. So that's the thing about Tauchman is the expectations were nothing, right? So is there a Hawks player you can think of? I was thinking of the guy they got when they won their last cup, and the Vermette. Antoine Vermette was just kind of like, I know he had been a good player, but I don't think anybody thought he'd be a major factor. And then, sure enough, he helped them win the cup.
Well, they got him. He was pretty close to a deadline edition, right?
Yeah, very late. And so maybe he was his expectations were low, and it wasn't a whole season of Antoine Vermette, but I didn't have this expectation that he was going to be a key piece of them winning a cup, and he was.
Yeah, I feel like Versteeg's rookie season was a little like that.
Versteeg's a good one. Yeah.
Maybe thought Versteeg was going to be a little bit.
But I guess. But then he kind of. I mean, he was still serviceable and helpful to the cup teams. No. I guess maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Andrew Ladd, you expected to be
like
big.
a 1 year.
1 year wonder.
I mean, like, I just think of Yermin Mercedes, who's more of a 1 month.
There's a great one, Yermin Mercedes.
A 1 month wonder.
The Yerminator.
Love the Yerminator.
Mercedes,
Didn't even make a whole
yeah.
season out of it.
Well, they would.
No, it's like Laher
they
didn't make a
would've,
whole season.
except for the asshole manager who threw him under the bus for hitting a grand slam on 3-0 or some shit.
That's right.
Because of unwritten fucking rules.
Have the Bears had a guy that they signed and you were like, that's not going to be anything, and then
Probably
that guy
like a
surprised
Johnny
you?
Knox, maybe. Johnny Knox. I
Johnny
think
Knox.
Johnny Knox is a good call.
Yeah.
Because he got
Johnny
hurt.
Knox.
I mean, people still talk about Johnny Knox. I mean, Zach
Hope he's
Miller
doing
to a
right.
certain extent.
God, both
He's
of those guys had bad injuries, right?
Yeah. And I think maybe that kind of maybe.
I mean, how about Robert Quinn? If we're going recency.
Robert Quinn, was pretty.
But
I
he was,
know,
I mean.
I know he's good and all, but like.
There were expectations.
He's like
that
a
he
Hall
was-
of Very good player.
Yeah,
before he
they
got
were
here.
expecting him to be good, and then
Yeah,
he wasn't, and then he was.
Yeah.
That's true.
One guy that popped into mind from the White Sox for me was James Baldwin.
James.
And I actually just called it up, and in my memory, he was a little bit better in 2000 than he was an all-star in 2000. But
Hold on. How about Esteban Loaiza if you're going back
Esteban
to that?
Loaiza.
Oh yeah, before he
Esteban
became a
Loaiza.
criminal. Yes,
I want to watch that.
before he became.
I
want to
watch that Netflix
drug
documentary.
king. Yes,
I think they did that on HBO Real Sports. I think.
Esteban Loaiza.
poor Zach Miller. That was a touchdown. First of all,
James Baldwin in 2000, 14-7 with a 4.65 ERA. So not as good as I remember it, but he was the ace on that team, I think. You remember James Baldwin?
yeah, he was good. He was good.
He was fine.
I don't know if I have any comparisons exactly. Yerminator's good if it would have been a whole season to what Tauchman
I mean,
is.
Tauchman's been doing this since June, right? I mean, has he really been doing it that long?
Yeah, he's pretty much. I mean, he didn't make the team out of spring
Right.
training, and then when he came up, he's been pretty consistently
All right.
good. And so I would say it's been surprising. I guess there have been some pitchers that have come through that have done that. Every once in a while, you get a Kevin Tapani has a nice season. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
Kevin Tapani, 20 wins. How about that? Didn't see that coming. But I think it's much harder for the Bears. For the Bulls, I think Nocioni at first was better than I
Noce.
expected. That
Yes,
he
I love
Chapu.
Noce.
I think he was better than I expected him to be. The chance of Nocioni were pretty
Nocioni was a good-
pretty
is a
fun
great
at the
call.
United Center. I'll be honest with you, Joakim Noah way exceeded expectations for me when they drafted him.
Yep.
I had no expectation that Joakim Noah would be anything, and he's turned out to be one of my favorite Bulls players outside of the Jordan era ever. So maybe Joakim, Jimmy Butler.
I mean, that's
What
just-
expectation did you have for Jimmy Butler? A late first-round pick, a guy out of Marquette
But-
that couldn't
Right,
score?
but his career has just kept building.
Yeah, I mean, are we
Right.
gonna,
We're talking
like
one-
what are you expecting from Mike Tauchman in 2024? Will he be back with the Cubs?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know. I hope so for the T-shirt. We'll just change the number on the T-shirt.
It's a
thing
lot
about
easier for these
lunch.
things to happen in baseball.
Yeah, because it's such a long season. I agree with that. Yes, Eric. I agree, though. Jimmy Butler. And we did mention Arrieta, Charlie, on the Cubs podcast because, like, 2014, his first season with the Cubs, you were like, never thought that was going to work, but he pretty much just threw a no-hitter. Pretty good.
Has either team had a closer that just kind of came out of
I
nowhere?
was trying to. I feel like there is a Cubs one.
Well,
From,
Carlos Marmol came out of nowhere, and he also turned into an all-star, and then he was gone just as fast as he was good. I had no expectations for Carlos Marmol, a former catcher who was.
I mean, is Rod back on that list, or was
No,
he
because he was
gone?
good at he was good with the Giants.
Yeah.
Good.
What about like Shingo Takatsu?
Yes.
Oh,
Shingo time.
there you go. Sox.
That's a great
Shingo,
one.
yeah.
Shingo. Cliff Polite.
Oh, Cliff.
You guy
Polite.
won you a World Series.
Yeah.
He's probably working at Burger King right now. No offense,
Cliff Fleet,
The
I
Burger
think,
King.
may have gotten a decent deal that he probably.
old number 43.
Neil Kotz definitely did.
Neil Kotz
Yeah.
pitched for both the Cubs and the Sox.
He's on
But
that
yeah, I mean,
list.
I wouldn't have picked Neil Kotz and Cliff Polite to be the key to a World Series.
Raymond Harris?
Yes,
Is that
Ultra
good
Back
for the
is a
Bears?
good one. Ultra Back's a very good one.
Yeah.
Right? He came out of nowhere with sort of a one.
Tom Waddle to a certain extent.
Tommy Waddle. The winter of Tommy Waddle.
I mean, he was
That's
good
not
for
bad.
more than a few seasons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
This website says the 3 Cubs are Mark Pryor, Rick Wilkins, and Jerome Walton.
Wilkins.
Jerome Walton's
Jerome
a good
Walton
one.
was a rookie of the year.
I mean, Dwight Smith's my guy.
Dwight Smith.
89.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Mark Pryor, though, was their first-round draft pick. I don't know where they're getting Mark Pryor at, but I
What
mean,
did you Google for that?
It was a website for 3 Cubs one-hit wonders we wish hadn't disappeared.
I
yeah,
guess
I mean,
they're probably saying it as because he got hurt,
Yeah,
he became
yeah,
a one.
in
oh,
the
became a one-hit wonder.
I mean, but
Tauchman is a guy who just, you didn't expect anything. He's kind of been a journeyman, and you could argue that he's helped save the Cubs season so far. Anyways, there's some of them. There's some out
now
there.
he's an obvious shirt. X
And now he's an obvious
CHGO
shirt.
shirt.
That's right.
I don't say buy, I say X. Obvious
/
shirts. Yeah.
and
collab.
X, is that what we call Twitter now?
X.
No.
Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've ever worn. They offer durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. But that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses they sell is backed by the lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventures of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2+ pairs of Polaroid sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
I think that's 250,000.
I think so. If you do the math right.
I don't math.
All right, that should do it for this week's The Chicago Sports Podcast. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks to Luke for coming back. Thanks to Kacy for wearing her bucket
Thank you for
hat.
returning to your job.
Thank you.
And thanks for Lawrence for manning the board once again. I'm Kevin Kaduk, head of content at CHO. We will see you next Thursday on The Chicago Sports Podcast.